anything like me, there'll be um, there'll be a number of what ifs there. So for me, it's what if he doesn't get the full sixth form experience? What if we go back into lockdown? And there could be a number of other what ifs there for you, like, what if she's fallen behind, or what if she doesn't settle back so easily into her friendship group, or what if she doesn't like the new school, or what if a teacher gets sick? What if one of the children in her bubble gets sick? There are just so many what ifs that we can have at this point. And I'm Una Alexander, and I'm committed to helping you take the guesswork out of parenting by showing you the radically loving steps that you can take to create a calm and happy family with children who behave well naturally because they feel good, they feel happy, they feel well. And I don't know about you, but when I was kind of listing off all those what ifs, I could feel my anxiety levels rising. And so I'm going to be sharing 3 steps today to help with back to school anxiety and helping everyone feel settled around it. And the very first step starts with us because emotional states are transferable. When we worry, we communicate worry to our children. And when we're okay, they tend to be pretty okay too. So, our first step with dealing with any nervousness or worry around going back to school is to look to ourselves. And I'm going to share a few things that I've been doing recently to kind of develop my self care and feel really great. And it's working. And one of them is going to bed earlier. I always say to myself, I go to bed at 10:30, but do I know normally it's kind of 11:30 or midnight? But I've been really going to bed early. And what a difference it makes to my sense of well-being. And then I've been taking some Epsom salts baths. And that's just a wonderful way of relaxing. If you haven't tried it yet, I really recommend it. And also doing more than one, doing several nights in a row, because you go to bed with this wonderful feeling of relaxation that can be hard to achieve in any other way. And then I've been using essential oils, which are wonderful too, and going out in nature every day, doing movement. And so pick and choose whichever of these feels that you could really do it, and which would be easy for you and enjoyable. And and you'll notice that when you soothe your body, your mind is soothed as well. You're less likely to go down the road of lots of what ifs and creating lots of potential scenarios that aren't actually helping you stay grounded and be there for your child. So that's step number one. Step number two is allowing difficult things to be there. There may be difficult things ahead of you. Maybe your child is already expressing that they don't want to go back to school. They're nervous, understandably, after 5 months away, or maybe they're going to a new school. There's so many things we could be nervous about. And and so it's about allowing those difficult feelings to be there. Or maybe they go back and they're disappointed. They're not in the same group or the group they thought they were going to be in, or something's been cancelled, their favorite activity. It's about allowing those difficult feelings to be there and being a listening ear and trying to avoid going into being Mrs. or Mr. Fix It and trying to provide the solution for it. Instead, be with your child, listen to what they have to say, be curious as to what it is about this thing that is upsetting them, and give them time to express themselves, or just time to be with them in that feeling if your child isn't the type that likes to articulate a lot. And see how this brings the acuteness of the feeling down. See how, when a feeling is allowed to be expressed and given space and time and attention, how it diminishes. It's kind of like a law of nature. It's amazing, and it can feel quite counterintuitive. But then when you've noticed that this diminishing is taking place, then you can point out gently some solutions or some positives in the situation. Okay, so that's step number two. And step number three is about creating predictability. Because we're in a pandemic, not only a health pandemic, but a pandemic of unpredictability. You know, the virus is popping up here and popping up there, and governments are changing their plans and doing U-turns, and schools are having to adapt and react, and we don't know from one day to the next what's going to be happening or how things are going to be. And as humans, that's a difficult situation to live with. And we humans tend to underperform when things are, and I'm not talking about just about exams here, but in terms of, confidence and all manner of day-to-day activities. When unpredictability is in the air, we are more challenged and we find it more difficult to do the normal things well. So let's do what we can as parents to create predictability where we can at home. Okay, so this step is about creating a day-to-day routine and a week-to-week routine that is as predictable as possible. So you might want to pay particular attention to the timings of bedtimes and to the order of your bedtime routine, that it's really predictable for your child, and not swapping from one thing to the other or one order to the other. Try and gently bring it into a repeatable order. You might want to have a meal plan or a weekly or a 2 weekly meal plan where the same meal comes round again. Or you might want to create family rituals, whether it's family film night or a Sunday morning hike, things like this that create a sense of this is what we do and this is the same, and whatever else is happening out there, this is what we do. And it's safe, it's repeated, and it's enjoyable. And one particular thing you might want to do with a child, especially a child who's nervous about going to a new school, is create a sense of predictability about that first day by doing a dry run with them, getting them into their school uniform, packed lunch, whatever it is that they're going to be doing on that day, and getting them into the car, if that's how you do your school run, and walking through it all, literally driving to the school gates. And then at that point where you can't go any further because it actually isn't the first day of school, you can talk them through what's going to happen after that. So and so will greet you. Remember where you'll put your peg if you've visited. And if you haven't, hopefully you have information that you can share with your child. And that will create a sense of predictability around that event. So I hope these have been helpful. To summarize, we have self-care, allowing difficult things to be there, difficult feelings to be there, and creating predictability. And if you do these and bring these three elements into your family, you'll see how it will help to create a sense of well-being and a soothing atmosphere at home, and a greater sense of calm. So lots of love to you. Bye.